raged through all Avantasia. The alliance of humans, elves, and dwarves fought against the evil army of the Shadows. The war had devastated the country for years upon years, and yet, no one gained the advantage. And so it was that in that time of deepest despair, that an old archaeologist uncovered the location of the artifact of divine fate. The artifact could fulfill every wish, and thus decide the war, for one side or the other. Led by Warlock Munkus, son of Archwitch Mortroga, the Shadows hunted for the artifact. And they would have reached it first, were it not for a group of heroes who stood against them. Wilbur, the young gnome who was the first of his clan to become a mage. Ivo, the courageous elven princess from the Woodland Realm. And the Critter, a hairy creature from the Northlands, companion of the most brilliant of the heroes, Nate Bonnet, who was supposed to spend the rest of his life at the side of an elven princess, who deserved a kingdom and all the riches in the world, who should stop wasting time talking about himself in the third person. Ah! Good, good. This is good. Although the ground is still getting closer. Part of the jetty. At least some of it survived the... If I'm lucky, this will go all the way up to the island, but somehow I really doubt...
Nate, how's it going?
Good. For now. Could it be that your spell didn't quite work out the way you planned?
I did tell you there were certain risks involved.
No big thing. So, now that we have a little time to kill, why don't you tell me a little something about yourself?
Oh, right. Well, yes, I came into this world in an oasis in the Umzu Desert, and at that time, I was...
Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Definitely not the time to reminisce.
Then why did you ask?
I could use some help here, Benny.
Well, you did see what happened last time I cast a spell.
Time to make up for it, then. Now shake a leg.
Oh, I don't know. I might just end up making everything worse.
Let me see. I'm accompanying tons of boulders in a plummet to certain painful death. My death. So just how do you think you could make things any worse?
Worse? I could set the air on fire, or it could start smelling very bad.
Can't you just stop time? Or wings! Give me wings! How about that?
Oh, this is all terribly complicated. I really don't feel up to it today, Nate.
Benny!
Perhaps tomorrow? I really do need to think through what's happened today properly.
You get me out of the mess you got us into right now!
Please don't yell at me! I just can't take it anymore!
Benny! Ah! The state he's in, we can forget about miracles. I gotta find something easy, something even he thinks. A flying carpet! Is that too much to ask?
I'm not talking to you.
Why you... I'm sorry I criticized your work, Benny.
And?
And that I shook your lamp. And everything else. You meant well.
Well, all right then. I forgive you. What can I do for you?
Carpet!
A flying carpet. Shouldn't be too hard. Should I really dare? Am I really up to it?
Yes! What the heck? What happened here? No!
Welcome, Adventurer. I am the tutorial, guardian of gameplay, explainer of controls. To move a character, just click anywhere in the scene, wherever your heart desires. Well done. If you left-click an object, then your character will perform an action determined by the context. The robot has used the lever, as this seemed logical to him. Now click the lever with your right mouse button so that the robot looks at it rather than uses it. Excellent. The robot thinks the lever is working. But if that's so, then where is the problem? That hatch over there, left-click it. The little chap seems to think there are advanced engine mechanics hidden behind there. Perhaps that's where the problem is. Click on the hatch again using the left mouse button. First left click will allow you to look, the second to use. Why? Because after a player character has looked at something, the most logical thing to do next is use it. It's quite simple. Right-click when you want to look at something, left-click in order to do whatever that character thinks is the next most sensible move. Is the machine working again? Left-click on the lever. Appears to be a new problem. Better take a closer look at the engine. Oops, that wasn't very helpful. Please pick up both gear. Great. To open and close your inventory, left-click the rucksack. To use an inventory item, use one of the gears in... Excellent. Now the... Perfect. You'd better oil the engine before you switch the machine back on again. That... Examine objects in the inventory in more detail. Pick up the damaged figure and the toolbox. Then when you are in the inventory, right-click the toolbox in order to examine it. Great! You found a few items in the toolbox. You can use these items on each other by initially left-clicking the first object, and then, when you have this item on the cursor, you left-click the second object. Try to repair the figure in the inventory. Well done. Now place the figure back in its rightful place on the balcony of the castle and start the machine. Excellent. Now ready. One last thing. If you press the spacebar, all interesting objects in the scene will be displayed. Good luck with your adventures in the Book of Unwritten Tales 2.
I'm worried about you.
Oh, Mother.
What's wrong with you?
Everything's fine.
No, you don't look well at all. Positively rotund. It is unseemly for an elf princess to cope with her frustrations by comfort eating. If you carry on like this, you won't fit into your wedding dress.
I don't have any intentions of marrying anytime soon.
Oh, darling, we've been through that already. Prince Lalilos is going to be arriving next week. You will like him. He's charming and... Look, he sent us a picture of himself and his sister.
Which of the two is the sister?
The elf nobility, unfortunately, has not got any unshaven Neanderthals to offer. You'll just have to get used to that.
I don't have the slightest interest in that person. Not anymore.
You are at the heart of the Elf Kingdom, in the castle of your family where you belong. No one here should be sad, tired, or fat. I only want what's best for you, Ivo.
Have you seen this prince? A vain river elf who's only interested in topping up his tan. I'm to spend hundreds of years in the company of someone I don't love? Huh, not me. And how? She will try anything and everything. Nothing's more important to her than getting me married off. Ugh. I didn't want to tell Mother, but I've not been feeling too. I'd say the same thing, but we elves hardly ever get ill. Yeah, you've got a point there. I spent almost a year in the human world and they have some very strange ideas about personal hygiene. Well, I thought perhaps it's a curse. Oh, no, you won't. I'll take care of it myself. Mother would make a state occasion out of it. I don't know either, but I'm sure there's a medical book down in the... No, rest is not what... And you really think it's appropriate for me to be... Yes, only what's best for me. I'll go down to the library and... I'm not going to be stopped. Fresh water from the spring brook, the little stream that rises. People come from far and wide to drink it. Normally this bowl is full of fruit and nuts. Presumably Mother has decided I should be without such things whilst I am, as she says, A beautiful red flower. It was only put here a few days ago. Sometimes Mother orders a new plant that looks nice in my room, and then it's replaced and planted in the garden. A guard with a spear and shield, and like all elven figures, immaculate. An envoy from the Far East gave me this musical box years ago. Wherever I go, I always have its tune in my head. I've been sleeping badly of late, and sometimes I feel tired all day long. I've never been ill, but something isn't right. I hope I'll find the answer in the library. I had my birthday during the few weeks that we spent living together here in the Elf Burrow. That was a big deal for Wilbur. He couldn't understand that the significance of birthdays tends to fade after a few hundred years. He insisted on making me a present. He sat in the corner for days knitting me this hat with The times when the others were here in the Elf Burrow, those were the best that I've ever had. The critter could never keep still when I was drawing him. He was always pulling faces and trying to make me laugh. Wilbur was so excited. He loves elves and our stories. He spent hours sitting with my father and listening to him talk about bygone ages. Complete idiot. My jewellery box serves as a podium for the vertically challenged narcissist. Cheap Cheap likes to look at his reflection. He strikes a pose and then tries to impress himself with it, and succeeds most of the time. We have many exotic plants here in the palace, but sunflowers are my favourite. I used to look into the woods for days on end, imagining what the world beyond would be like. Now I know, and I think I miss it. Apologies, I need a few of your seeds. I've seen much suffering, much evil and unkindness in the world out there. But it was exciting. It was alive. Here in the Elf Burrow, everything is so ordered, so perfect, so dull. One day's just like the next, and they just pass by endlessly. One can almost see the edge of the wood through the telescope. But I just can't leave the Elf Burrow. Mother would never forgive me, and there are so many dangers lurking out there. Elven craftsmen have centuries to perfect their artistic skills. Only when everything is always perfect, then isn't everything always the same and somehow unimportant? Could you please move aside? I want to get into my jewellery box. He doesn't listen to me anymore since I almost caused him to be roasted by fireballs, decapitated by swords and eaten by monsters. Mother has permitted him to disregard any of my orders that go against her wishes. His interpretation of this can be liberal. Cheap, the box, please. Oh. Cheap, the box, please. Oh. Mother's locked me in as if I was 200 again. Since I secretly escaped from the Elf Burrow last year, she's taken to guarding me closer than ever before. A delicate, sweet scent. It reminds me of a wood over in the west where I learnt to use a bow and arrow. Normally this bowl is full of fruit and nuts. Presumably Mother has decided I should be without such... No, I'm not... It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the first time that I've climbed into the garden via the balcony, and it won't be the last. I'm just doing my morning exercises. I wasn't going to. Of course, I could just ignore him and climb down into the garden anyway. He would, however, make a beeline to Mother and tell on me, and who knows what the two of them would cook up for me next. Cheap, the box, please. Oh. The door's locked and can only be opened. I'll have to find another way down to the library. Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother seized the opportunity to marry me off to a proper elf prince. So far, I've managed to frighten off every candidate successfully, but she's starting to lose her patience. A friendly gift from nature, taken without... Cheep Cheep, would it be possible for you to stop admiring yourself for 2 seconds and move over to stuffing your beak instead? Don't say I never look after... Pearls, precious stones, all the stuff I have to wear at official functions. If it were up to Mother, I would have trunkfuls of this stuff, and a wing of the castle would be my wardrobe. She just can't understand why Pa and I aren't into this sort of thing. Oh, there is more than one kind of stretch exercise, you know. Perhaps you'd like to train with me. No chance. I can't sneak down as long as Cheep Cheep's on guard. The plant would survive, I'm sure, but at the moment I don't need any more. He's enjoying his food more than admiring his reflection. If he carries on like this, he'll need a larger mirror. It's my mirror, really, but Cheep Cheep would probably miss it much more than me. Hey, withdrawal symptoms? A contented fat blue bird and his reflection. I don't know how, but he always seems to know when I'm going against Mother's will. Perhaps it's a sixth sense, or magic. Or he just knows me too well. Not while Cheep Cheep's still on guard. When Nate and the others lived here, Nate often made intimations that were to do with the bed. I don't know why, but I know Mother wasn't happy about it. She moved him to a guarded guest room at the other end of the castle. And Cheep Cheep was ordered never to leave my side. Only how am I going to get down there? The door's locked and can only be opened from the other side. I'll have to find another way down to the library. Wilbur didn't know that autumn would last for years. Mother looked at the... I just need the music box a minute. You don't need... Shh. He's gone to sleep. It got dark and he's simply... No matter. I can now enjoy a few moments of peace. Let's go. As expected, no one here. My parents are in the throne room ruling the lands. Or rather, Mother is. I don't know the names of all the plants in the garden. Grandmother knows them all, which is probably down to the fact that it was her that gave many of the plants their names a few thousand years ago. Shite beerwood, sweat tea, dodder flower, fat hen, bistort. We no longer invite her. No idea what kind of bush this is, but its red fruit looks very young. If I learnt one thing in the woods, it's that you shouldn't eat anything you don't know. This is Mother's mirror. It's said that you can see into the furthest corners of the land and know what's happening in every part of the world. At the moment, it's no more than a shallow bowl. The water's misty. A lovely spot, so long as the bees who have built their hive directly above... Mother thought it was unseemly of the bees to build their hive in our garden. I don't think she could get used to the thought that she would no longer be the only... I convinced Mother not to have the hive removed, and she reluctantly agreed. However, should she be stung, then the hive's days are numbered. There's only a little water left in the bird bath. Cheep Cheep always says that it evaporates quickly. I, however, think that the constant need to replenish the water is more down to his unbridled joyous splashing and not insignificant body mass. There are reeds and water lilies growing in the pond. Naturally, they were planted there. They don't grow in the wild so high up the mountains. I can't think of any use for a water lily, but a reed could come in handy. That's a weeping willow. It appears to be so content it looks anything but sad. That leads up to the throne room. Mother will be conducting the affairs of state with an iron will, whilst Pa leans against the tree of life. The spring brook emerges up there. It's still small here, but it becomes one of the largest and most important rivers in the woodland realm. Swords of all the idiots who have tried to conquer the elf burrow. It's become less frequent over the last few centuries. Humans and dwarves appear to have learnt their lesson. This flower clearly is one of the more exotic of the palace's flowers. It comes from a country in the deep south beyond the deserts. It's said that the flower of this plant used to be sent as a declaration of war, or if one wanted to deprive someone of all sense. What have we got here then? Aha! Ah! Almanac of Elf Medicine. That's what I've been looking for.
Ow! Be careful, if you please.
A speaking book?
An ill elf?
I haven't been feeling too well recently. I'm sleeping badly and have no appetite. I know that elves are very seldom ill, but if it's not that, then it must be some kind of magic or curse.
Seldom ill does not actually mean never ill. Elves can, for instance, suffer from a broken heart.
Oh, please.
It is one of the most common causes of death amongst beautiful princesses.
Oh, it must be something else.
Sensitive elves can sometimes suffer from the pains of the world. There are a variety of ear infections, and of course it could also be lupus. But I think it is something else.
Like what?
To be completely certain, you must mix a potion and drink it.
Are you serious?
Very.
All right, this potion, what goes in it?
It is very easy to make. You need to pound together the green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey and a red herring, and then mix with water into a viscous potion.
Oh, that sounds revolting.
It's medicine. It isn't supposed to taste nice.
And if I drink it, I'll be well again?
We will then at least know what is wrong with you.
A red herring. Are you serious?
Of course, why not? Red herrings are known all over the land as particularly useful fish. Their uses in the areas of medicine, cuisine, and literature are too numerous to mention.
All right, so I've got a red herring. This metis bush.
Haven't a clue. I'm just a book and have spent years sandwiched between dusty hymnals and a tome of revolting recipes.
Ill elf. So I look ill.
Take it easy, young one thing at a time.
Young one. I'm older than you.
And you look it too.
I do?
No, of course not, and I can also see no illness. But the mere fact that I've been fished out from the back of the shelf for the first time in centuries tells me that something is wrong.
Are you actually qualified to make a diagnosis? And why can you talk?
I am a magical medicine book. That actually serves as an answer to both of your questions.
I've never encountered a talking book before.
Of course not. I am the only talking book here. That's the problem. In the magical library in Seastone, all books can talk. Things really get cooking there, believe me.
You were probably given to us by someone from Seastone, right?
Right. I was a complete idiot and actually volunteered. As I am a book about elf medicine, I didn't get much to do in Seastone. I thought to myself, hey, this is your chance to get some practical experience. Wrong.
Yeah, we elves don't get ill much.
And more than that, you don't actually have much time for books. This is the center of the elven kingdom, and just look at how paltry this library is.
We don't have much use for books. We sing songs about times past, and many of us were there at the time.
Then that's probably also the reason why so many elves stand around in white.
What do you mean?
Allow me to elucidate. Over the years, the songs you elves sing will be changed. and adapted, a little here, a little there. This editorial process is nothing more than refined elvish propaganda, presenting them as intelligent and morally impeccable. And who can prove otherwise? There are no other witnesses and there are no books.
I demand to know this instant what sort of...
Sometimes it's better not.
I can take it.
A placebo only works when one doesn't know that it... Make the potion and then come back and drink it. Then we'll be sure.
Thank you.
Normally, it's me that ends patient consultation. You are only a princess, but...
A few years ago, this dragon was causing a whole lot of grief. A bounty was put on its head, and all heroes of the land were encouraged to hunt. 40 brave warriors penetrated its lair and slew it. They brought the head to the palace where it was displayed in triumph. The strange thing was that a bit later, more adventurers came carrying an identical head. Then more and more heroes. A great example of the variety of our world's fauna. Some of the ideas Mother Nature has can be quite off the wall. Goldsmithing, masonry, and a book about carpentry. Like all books in this library, it's a guest present. The logic behind this must be, those elves, they have so many beautiful statues and items of wood. They'll be really interested in this. Why don't we? What they don't realise, though, is that if we're interested in a subject, then we'll already know pretty much all there is to know about the matter, and the book... The Biggest Plant Book of Avantasia by Charles Mendel with illustrations by There's a selection of cubes here. For a while, it was all the rage at official state visits to give geometric presents. Why do so many people hate this flower? Perhaps it has an abhorrent smell. Now that explains why this flower is classified as a weapon in 24 countries. As suspected, but they always... A fairly small, unattractive tree.
Huh! I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
You mean...
Anyway, what can I do for you, Maida?
The garden always looks...
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, me dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands properly in the evenings.
You tree shepherds do a great job.
Tree shepherds? The trees just stand there. Why do they need a shepherd? However, I quite fancy one of those shepherd dogs. Hey, Rex, do you want to be my shepherd dog? Nah, my darling, I'm a gardener. Nothing more, nothing less.
You Grandfather, you get along well, don't you?
Ah, no one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
Ah, the mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life. And he's missing out on the lot by just sitting around up there and doing nubbit.
What are you up to today?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the Elfborough, but the flowers need their water.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years.
Time passes differently in the Elfborough.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously.
Mother put me on a diet this morning so that I'll look perfect.
Oh, everything has to be perfect for her. No such thing in nature, of course. Or rather, everything is perfect if you just let...
You tell that to Mother.
I have, many times. She'd be very clever in some things, but very daft concerning...
Now then, she is the Queen.
I'm old enough to be able to call a spade a spade. Spade, gardener.
I have to get on.
Yep, got a bit to do myself. I just don't know what's wrong with that plant over there. Your mother got a whole heap of flowers given to her the other day from a fairy delegation. All of them took good and strong.
Perhaps it needs a special type of soil.
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something soon, I'll have to ask your father. He can have a little chat with her.
If you're going in, it'd be nice if you didn't tell my mother that you...
Oh, you playing hooky. My lips are sealed.
No idea what kind of bush this is. If I learnt one thing in the woods, it's that you should... The bees are buzzing around. It doesn't look very well at all. It's unusual for flowers. Normally they blossom in our good earth. Not to mention the power of arbour's green... The door can be opened easily from the outside. If it was up to me, it would stay open. Water's the easiest ingredient to find. We have copious amounts of it here. Water's the easiest ingredient to find. We have... Water's the easiest ingredient to find. We have copious amounts of it. That should do it. The medicine book reckoned that it should be a viscous potion. I'm going to have to take a few more of your seeds, but I promise this is the last time. Pearl. Goodness. It's a start, but there are still ingredients. It's a start, but there are still ingredients missing. I don't really know much about reeds or pipes, but if I'm not mistaken, then those things are called pipe cleaners. The reed from the garden pond, it's like a hollow pipe. Well, pipes are normally hollow. I will only deploy this flower in self-defense, or when it could prove amusing. Hi.
Well, what?
What are the potions in?
The green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey, and a red herring. You have to put everything into a bowl with a bit of water and...
What are the potions?
The green fruit of a...
Thank you for your help.
That...
A handy smooth stone. No idea. If I learn... No idea what kind of... If Arbor doesn't know what's wrong... Hi, Arbor.
Oh!
If I were ill and needed to make some medicine...
Ill? You're an elf!
But if I were...
Oh, come on.
Do we have a metis bush?
That bush over yonder.
But that fruit's red.
And what colour do you expect, then?
Green. Are they only green when they're not ripe?
Nah, they're blue then. They're green when the bush senses danger.
Pardon?
The metis bush has exceptionally delicious sweet fruit. But if it thinks it's in danger, then they go green and very sour.
Ah, and the bush only has red fruit because it has nothing to be afraid of.
That's right.
Do you know how I could get my hands on some honey?
Try the kitchens.
I prefer not to...
Of course. Someone would
Would that beehive in the tree over there be of...
Oh, I'd be careful with that. The bees defend their honey and can give you a nasty sting.
Couldn't they be distracted or tricked in...
Beekeepers wear protective clothes and use smoke that calms them. But I don't have any beekeeper kit here. I just let the bees keep their honey and they pollinate my flowers. That's how we've always done.
I often see you fishing. Could you lend me your rod?
Of course, if you bring it back in one piece. What's up?
I was convinced that I would have to make my own fishing rod or that you'd ask me to collect a variety.
Why? It's only a rod.
Thanks.
Not everything needs to be complicated, you know.
What was that with the metis?
If the bush gets scared, feels threatened or unwell, then its fruit will turn green and sour.
There's something else. Have you found out what's wrong with the plant?
Nope, I haven't. Everything looks proper. Earth is moist and new. Difficult case. I'd quite like to smoke my morning pipe now, but first work, then play.
See you later, Arb.
See ya!
This is a metis bush, just what I need, only its fruit is red, not green. If the bush had a heart, it would have... Thanks. I don't have a clue about fishing, but I'll try my luck. Just as I expected, nothing. On the other hand, somehow I have the feeling that I now know what I'm doing. I guess that I can just practice until I'm good enough. Or I could try to speed things up by learning more about fishing elsewhere. Perhaps I can help Arbor solve the problem with that flower. Let's take a look. This plant reminds me of the one that Arbor's having problems with at the moment. Love lily. The love lily enters into an enduring relationship with another plant very early in its life, which frequently lasts its lifetime. If the partner plant dies, then the love lily does not normally survive the separation. Giant beans, also known as magic beans, are very rare. They are the fastest growing plant variety known. Because of the beans' high costs, they are almost exclusively used by the military, for instance, in storming high-walled castles. Killer tomatoes are the most devious of the meat-eating plants. Disguised as tomatoes, they hunt on allotments for defenseless humans. Mandrake should only be cultivated by experienced gardeners. The cry of the baby mandrake can kill anyone within 20 meters instantaneously. The tree of wrath bears fruit several times a year. These grapes of wrath are bad-tempered beasts that can lay whole areas to rack and ruin. Steel magnolias look like normal magnolias, but are some of the toughest plants on Earth. They can be softened using tragic women's stories and subsequently may be picked. Steel magnolias they can be softened using Guard plants, Vigilia ordriensis, belong to the oldest domesticated plants of human. They have been especially valued in times of famine as they do not require as much food as, for instance, dogs. They can sometimes develop an The wood of intelligent apple trees is often used for the equally intelligent and beautifully shaped living accessory. For a long time, botanists thought that it may be possible to find other intelligent fruit varieties. So far, working with wood. There's a master whittler down in the valley. I've enjoyed what he carves animal figures so real that humans and dwarfs believe that they are actually animals turned into wood. This one's more about interiors, making plane the wood down by a pixie's thumb and saw the board into 2 equal length pieces. Who knows what that might be? Bye, Arbor.
Oh, Ivo!
Look, I found this book in the library.
Woodcrafts? Why are you showing me that?
I thought it might interest you.
I don't like horror stories.
Horror stories?
Wood that has been clamped into a revolving monstrosity to be whittled down layer by layer to the core? What do you call that then?
Sorry, never looked at it like that.
Branches sawed off, boards nailed together, wood treated with chemicals. Oh, sick stuff.
You must know a lot about fishing. Could you teach me?
Yep, can do that. Just put the line into the water and wait.
That much I know already. Is that all?
Yep, it's all a question of probability. Will a fish bite or won't a fish bite? You understand? A good bait, a blinker and those sort of things can increase your probability, of course. But apart from that, it's just practice, practice, practice.
I think I know the name of your patient. It's a love lily.
You don't look particularly loved up.
That's exactly the problem. Love lilies enter into a lifelong partnership with another plant. And if they're separated...
Then they let their heads droop. Good theory. But the fairies know their plants. They'd never have given us a love lily without its partner.
See you later, Arbor.
See ya.
Pity. Red herrings are fast and slippery. Even elves can't catch them with their bare hands. A classic. A classic. A classic. A good solid fishing rod. Nothing special, but I should be able to catch something with it. A classic. This flower was given to us by the fairies, just like the love lily down in the garden. I bet they belong together. It's a start, but there are still ingredients. Ugh, that fruit smells really sour. The plant would survive, I'm sure. Arbor's pot, literally. I really shouldn't... It's only earth. I should tell Mother how her daughter... There's only a little... I, however, think that the constant need to replenish the water is... The willow is stretching its branches up high into the sky with glee. One part of the waterfall's already... Mother pours water from very... She did this ever since... Hi, Arbor.
Oh,
I've got a flower here that could help you with your love lily.
And?
Yes, look. Look, do you know this flower?
Ha ha ha! You did well, girl.
It would appear so.
You snivelling, girl? You all right?
No. Yes. I don't know.
Well then, I think I've earned myself a little rest now.
That's Arbor's little spade. He always leaves his stuff all over the garden, which of course drives Mother mad. The pipe smoke seems to have calmed them down a bit. You're having a good time, I see.
What can I do for you?
I just need to borrow...
Of course! Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
About the...
Art?
There's something... I have to get on.
Art, that I...
The pipe smoke seems to have calmed them down a bit. The smoke from Arbor's pipe seems to be calming the bees. This is my chance.
Hey now, you all right there?
Sorry, had to do it.
Well, I'm not happy about this destruction of nature. Not unless I get half of that there honey.
I don't need any more. The rest is for you.
Oh, that be good stuff. But that's enough. The bees need a bit too.
The worms provide a great lure and should increase my fishing success rate, whatever that is. I always hang one onto the hook before I cast the line out. The worms provide a great... I always hang one... The worms provide... I always hang... A classic. The worms provide... I always hang one onto the hook, but... At last. Now I can take the red herring off my list. A present from one of the northern kingdoms. Strange folk up there. The men climb mountains and shout foul-mouthed things in dragon's language at the dragons. I think it's some kind of test of courage. About 1 spoon of honey. Thanks for the sacrifice, little fish. Now I've got all the ingredients. I just need to crush them. I'm pretty sure that there's never been anything so utterly revolting concocted in the elf burrow ever. Oh, I hope this is some kind of joke. I don't know much, but I do know that I'm not going to drink this potion until I've had another chat to the medicine book about it. I need to know which disease this potion's meant to be good for. Looks as if it's been pre-diagnosed. Hi.
Well, what's up?
The potion's ready, but you don't seriously expect me to drink it, do you?
You must.
Cheap, I'm so... Yes, I know, but... This, medicine. Well, I did tell you that I wasn't feeling well, and the medicine book here thinks it could be something serious.
She has to drink it, the sour metis fruit, sweet honey and salty fish. That should give us an answer.
Oh, it looks revolting.
It is medicine, it's not That's right, down to the last drop.
Not as bad as I was expecting. In actual fact, it's quite tasty. I could definitely drink another glass of that.
Congratulations, Ivo. You are pregnant.
No. That is completely impossible. You must be wrong. Surely it's a misdiagnosis.
You are an elf and say that potion is quite tasty. I could definitely drink another glass of that. That's raging hormones talking.
I don't have any hormones. Cheat, no. No, the book has made a mistake. I cannot. I've never stood in the divine water with Nate on Midsummer's Night singing the Song of Life. Why? How do humans do it? They do what?
Elves and humans can have children together, but it's not possible without sex.
You see? We never had sex. At least not to my knowledge.
But the diagnosis is crystal clear.
Let's just pretend that I am pregnant. There must be some explanation.
If we discount the possibility that which would certainly appear to be the case here, then that leaves us with just the unconventional. Did you, perhaps, make some kind of pact with a goblin regarding the child?
No.
Has a god in the guise of a bull appeared to you in your dreams?
No.
Have any stars fallen from the heavens recently?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Then that just leaves magic, or a curse. But unfortunately, that is not my area of...
I wish it was so cheap, but my feeling is that the book is right. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure why, and as all other possibilities have been eliminated, then it must be a curse that is fantastic. No, of course I didn't mean it like that, but just think. Me. That sounds like an adventure. Totally obvious what we need to do now. We ask Archmage Alistair. He's the wisest magician in the realm of man, and he's a... Oh, no, you don't. You remember who was meant to be looking after me so that nothing happened? Alistair's sure to have the answer. Only, how are we going to get there? Oh, yeah, saying fly is all well and good. Are you going to teach me quickly then? No, we need a fast mode of transport. And then there's the small matter of the Border Watch. Their longbows can take out a fly's eye at 400 metres. And they will shoot if said fly should dare to set foot in or leave the woodland realm. You don't by any chance know the password that the Border Watch use? That's exactly the problem. Mother chooses a new password every single day. Oh, why don't you know the password? Hey, know-it-all. Mother's mirror. It knows more than you. It must know the password. One thing's certain. Mother. I don't know either. Do you think that my tummy... Oh, if we work as a team, we should be able to cast a little light on... After all, if it is a curse, then I'm the victim. Well, yes, I know that. She'll blame us whatever happens. But it's best for us to have some answers rather than just present... Transport and the password. That's just what I need. The only question is how to cast a spell over the mirror. I've never done that before. You're having a good time, I see.
What can I do for 'ee?
Do you know how to cast a spell over a man?
Do I look like a magician or priest?
Perhaps you saw Mother doing it sometime.
Many times. She tips water from 3 different vessels into the bowl and then mumbles a bit to herself. Some kind of elf priestess magic nonsense. I don't know nothing.
Me neither. Arbor, I'm going to have to leave the elf burrow.
Your mother giving you permission?
Not as such.
Oh, she not gonna like that. But one has to do what one has to do.
Oh, thank you, Arbor. And don't tell anyone I told you.
Oh, he wouldn't dream of it. Just don't you go staying away too long now. You know, time out there runs much quicker than here.
Of course. In the outside world, we elves age like humans. That's why most elves avoid...
Quite right.
Tell me, you know a bit about nature, don't you?
Oh, don't know. Ask myself. The bees pollinate the flowers. The flower seeds are carried away by the wind, and very simple and easy. But elves, humans and dwarves don't produce nectar. What have you got to offer?
Yeah, and also our children don't grow in the earth.
I know. Isn't it absurd?
I have to get on.
That I won't.
There appears to be an amazing collection of stuff accumulated in the little pond. I wonder if there's anything there that could prove you. There's only a little water left in the bird box. I, however, think that the constant need to replenish. Nothing for it. Have to talk to Pa.
Ivo, I thought that we'd agreed that you would stay in your room.
I'm
What are you, my darling?
pretty. I am pretty.
But of course you are. You are my daughter and an elf princess. So you disobeyed me just to...
I just left my room to do a bit of training.
Mm-hmm.
You said yourself I've put on a few pounds, and I'm not going to get rid of them by lying around on my bed all day.
Where does this sudden insight come from?
I can't keep asking myself what to do with my life. Perhaps marriage isn't such a bad idea.
It most certainly isn't. And if you train diligently, I'm sure Prince Lalilos will like you a lot.
Of course.
I would love to help you, but I'm most dreadfully busy. A kind of epidemic seems to have broken out in Seastone.
An epidemic in Seastone?
It's strange. We're getting reports from the whole of the Middle Kingdom.
What do you mean?
The situation isn't clear. It appears as if some kind of terrible power is gradually moving through the whole land. Do you remember the story of the Nothing? A big blackness that gradually swallowed a fairy kingdom.
Of course.
This time it is much worse. It is...
An epidemic in Seastone. Is it wise for me and it to go there? On the other hand, Wilbur and the Archmajor in Seastone. Perhaps I can help them to fight the epidemic in exchange for Pa doesn't like getting up early. He always says he needs lots of sleep, but he's never... Hey, Pa, the day started ages ago.
What? Oh, Ivo, how's my favourite?
I'm your only daughter.
Oh, that I had 100. You are and will remain something very special.
Pa, you're nuts. Isn't it a wonderful day today?
Just as the caterpillars cough in the morning, yet something seems to be troubling you.
Enlighten me, Father.
Old people with sunburn, deep in prayer, they may be clever, but they are not wise.
Understood. She locked me up like a small child.
Have you argued again?
She started it.
She loves you.
And she only wants the best for. How can it be best for me if she constantly criticises me and forces me to do things that I don't want to do?
She believes that this will help prepare you for the life that awaits you.
I'd just like to decide for myself.
I know. Your mother just doesn't understand that.
Mother wants me to marry this
I did hear about that.
Is that your wish too?
All I wish for is...
Aha, so I'm not going to marry him.
Unfortunately, not all wishes are granted.
Oh.
You are an elf princess. You will need to marry. It's just when and who. I'd rather just leave that to Mother Nature.
I wish you could convince Mother of that.
I fear her faith in your taste of men has been shaken a little. She wants to prevent your heart being broken again. That's why she is choosing someone that she thinks is right.
Pa, Carl, would you have used the artifact of divine...
I think that too much power can corrupt.
But you have great powers, and you've never used them for evil.
I could have cured diseased woodlands with the artifact, cleaned rivers. Then I might have chased away the
I could have helped a lot of humans.
thing.
I need to tell you something, Father, but I'm not sure how.
You shouldn't worry too much. It's not good for the baby.
You know.
Has a zebra got stripes?
How can it have happened? Why?
I don't know. Is that important?
It is. I want to know what's happened to me.
Then look for the answers, my little bud.
How can you be so calm about it?
Because I know that everything will be fine in the end.
And if it isn't fine?
Then it is not the end.
If you don't know what the pregnancy's all about, then I'll have to travel to Seastone and ask the Archmage.
The fact that I don't know means that you did not get pregnant by natural means. And if something does not conform to the laws of nature, then it must be magic. No one knows more about these things.
We agree then.
Like snails munching cabbage. Only your mother isn't going to permit it.
I know, but I'll work on that. I've got quite a lot to think about.
Goodbye, little daughter.
See you later. Only priestesses are allowed to get water from the well. Up to now, my mother hasn't tried to make me into a priestess. If I... I can blame Mother for a lot of... On the contrary, this symbol's on the bottom of the mirror bowl in the garden. No idea what it means. That's Mother's area of... This symbol's on the bottom of the mirror bowl in the garden. No idea what it means. That's Mother's area of expertise. Mother?
Yes.
Those symbols on the columns.
First, your insights concerning your wedding, and now an interest in the spiritual. The three symbols depict the three different forms that water takes. They are important. Water that falls from the sky. Water that springs from the earth. And water that is bathed by moonlight.
Oh. What's all this different?
Not all water is the same. It changes. If it bubbles out of a spring, then it is spring water. Then it turns into stream water. The voice of water changes.
And if different forms...
Then you can create water with powerful magical... But it's not as easy as you might imagine. Water is constant. Rain is water from the sky, but as soon as it lands in a puddle, then it becomes...
When you married
Just a few days. I fell in love with him instantly.
And if you hadn't loved him,
Then I would have married him anyway. It is the duty of...
whether she wants it or not.
You didn't want to go to school either. Today you can play music. Please, just trust me.
That stuff in the moon,
Of course it is, my darling.
could I take some of it?
It is holy water. We only use it for special occasions. What do you need it for?
I'd like to carry out a rich...
Really? What?
Well, it's just...
What do you want to use the water for?
Oh... About the moon.
What do you need it for?
I need it for a...
Really?
Well, the moon water's a...
It is...
I didn't want to trouble you with this.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a vessel? May the Moonwell water give you the help you need to become more beautiful, just as it has always helped me.
Do you know what can be done to fight the epidemic?
Done? No, it's a matter for humans. We will only observe.
How hard would it be for us to actually help solve a problem for once?
If Alistair needs my advice, he can ask me, and up to now he has not done.
But...
I'm not going to interfere.
Why do you want me to marry this particular prince?
Because I think that will be best.
And if I don't like...
Then you will learn to
Why can't I fall in love first and...
And what happens if you don't fall in love? You won't ever marry. Don't be childish, I've adored.
Do you really think...
You aren't really fat, my darling.
Do I have to be perfect?
No one is perfect, but that doesn't stop us striving for it. Once you are happy with yourself, then you become dissatisfaction.
See you later, Mother.
Don't pull a face like a...
When Nate saw the well for the first time, he started blabbering something about sky pools and that we could have a lot of fun in the water. That was the point at which Mother made Cheep Cheep guard me. The symbol for water that falls from the sky. Water that spills from the earth. That's what this symbol means, according to Mother, and she knows what she's talking about. The droplet signifies water, the circle the moon. Water that's been bathed in moonshine. There appears to be an amazing collection. I wonder if there's anything... There appears to be an... I wonder if... There's only a little water left in the bird bath. I, however, think that the constant need to replenish... Right then, fresh water for the bird. If I do succeed in escaping, it'll be a while before Cheep is able to... Do I have the right to drag him into this? He should really have the choice of returning as soon as...